Lesson 58, Part 3. Topic: the presence of spiritual entities in the places of the physical dimension where you are. When you perform the invocation session with the spiritual master, you can also cleanse the space by creating the largest possible positive white aura. This can be done while conducting the seance, regardless of the method used, or while meditating in the space or anywhere else. Project this energy into the space so that when a mischievous spirit appears, it will be powerless because the aura will be white and positive, repelling entities with ill intentions. In this case, the cleansing process can be slow, especially if there are many of these mischievous spirits, but this depends on your work and that of the spiritual master. Another possibility is that someone in your group or someone you know has enough mental and psychic energy to create a mental shield in that place. They might have such a pure aura and so much psychic energy that they can establish a barrier against these mischievous spirits. There are people this powerful, people capable of confronting demons. If you have someone like that in your group, use them. You will finish the job much faster. Normally, some kind of cleansing ritual will be necessary, depending on the psychic energy present and the number of mischievous spirits. On average, a cleansing will need to be done every 3 to 6 months. I say on average, but it will depend on the location. If the place has many mischievous spirits, it might need to be done every 2 months or even every month, depending on the person or group of people performing the cleansing. If there aren't any mischievous spirits and their presence is being contained because they can't approach due to the barrier that has been created, every 6 months may be sufficient to prevent any further manifestations that target the inhabitants of the house. In other lessons, I want to discuss the topic further, but now let's look at what could be done if the place has many negative entities, and the manifestations that occur in this house or location are directed against the inhabitants, attacking their physical and mental well-being. In this case, what needs to be done is largely what I mentioned earlier. Form a meditation group, a group of spiritual communication with these entities, especially with the few positive entities present in this place. These entities will then assist in cleansing the area, preventing negative entities from entering and doing everything possible to expel them. This cleansing will typically require the assistance of a spiritual teacher, who will need to bring their team to carry out the task. They will need to be on duty 24 hours a day, and it will be a very demanding job. Cleansing this place could take months, because it will never truly be clean. The psychic energy here is amplified by the telluric energy and the magnetic anomaly. This energy is attracted to the negative side of the energy, thus amplifying all bad feelings. All the negative spiritual entities don't want to leave because they have sustenance. In turn, this negative energy causes the people who live in these places to create negative psychic energy, and therefore these spiritual entities have even more food because they feed on our bad feelings, our tension, our anxiety, our malice, and so on. What I recommend is following the process I explained earlier, the process of joint meditation sessions in this place. To work with the spiritual teacher. To cleanse the space, you must work together and do it regularly to prevent negative entities from re-entering. This is the only way to do it in places with so much negative energy. Even if you know someone with great psychic energy who can create a barrier in this place, the barrier won't be permanent. It will need to be activated periodically, given energy periodically. This special person with these qualities can handle this and can do it remotely. But if you want to be independent of the work and not depend on them, learn what you need to do to cleanse your living space. You must have discipline and a method, because otherwise the place may become uninhabitable over time. If you are able to perform the work properly, the negative manifestations against the inhabitants will diminish, and the psychic atmosphere in this place will become more positive. But this will only happen with consistent effort. Many people lack the knowledge or don't know who can do this work, so what usually happens is that they abandon the place. The negative entities that live in these places often want inhabitants so they can feed on them. In some places, the spiritual entities that live here don't want anyone because they are so attached to the earth and material objects that they don't want any human being near them. They believe that they are still alive and that they share the same dimension. They are obviously mistaken. Humans have physical bodies and spiritual entities have energetic bodies. Obviously, they cannot share the same material objects, but since the universe grants free will to all beings that inhabit it, Whether spiritual or physical, these entities have chosen the path of materialism, believing that the material is positive, that the spiritual world doesn't exist when they are themselves. They realize, or don't want to realize, that they no longer belong to the physical world. Over time, they realize that they are no longer alive, and then they realize that they were wrong, and they begin to find their way out. End of lesson 58, part 3.